Hey guys, what's up? This is Lucia, Miss Luli. I decided to make a video today because it's interesting. Sometimes it's a common theme that goes around, and I hear from different people, and I just makes me think about the stuff, and I feel like I want to share what's going on in my head about that topic. So I've heard a person that I follow saying that she sabotages herself. Actually, I heard like 3 people telling me this week. They sabotage themselves. What's happening? Why do I hate myself? Why do I do that? And you know what the truth is that it kept me thinking, but the conclusion that I had is that you don't sabotage yourself because you hate yourself. You sabotage yourself because you care. Because if you didn't care, that's what happens, okay? You get to that point where you're getting to that moment where you think, oh my God, I'm losing weight. What if I get there to the end and I fail? And that's all unconscious thinking, okay? You have that some conscious thinking and some unconscious thinking going on. So you are afraid to succeed because you are afraid to fail, because you are so comfortable. Although you don't like where you are, you got used to here. Failure, you are used to here, okay? So you don't have to push yourself, you don't have to do anything else. If you get there on the winning team and everybody says, oh, how wonderful, how wonderful, how wonderful, you get sometimes scared because you're not comfortable. You're not used to that. You don't know how to react to things at that point. You don't know how to respond to people, and it's an adjustment. And you are afraid that you can't do it. So you tell, I sabotage myself. Yeah, the sabotage part is right, but not because you hate yourself. That's because you care. Because you don't want to fail. So there's a part of you that says, okay, you don't want to fail, and feels that anxiety, and it gives you exactly what you want, the food. Now, why is the food? Because you want to get fat and come back? It's not it. That's not it. That's because your brain learned that food soothes you. Now, come back with me and think about it. As babies, we were helpless, okay? We couldn't do anything without the help of our mothers or our caregivers. We were crying, laying in bed, in a cradle. Yeah. So you're laying there as a baby. And you are desperate. I don't know what goes on in our heads at that point, but you are crying, and then your mom or your caregiver comes in and picks you up, holds you, and then you feel there's something about holding you close, about a hug. It's one of the most soothing feelings ever. And somebody feeds you a bottle. So that comforting comes together with food. So it's like, oh, I'm so comforted now. That's a great feeling. Your brain learns. You are a very intelligent being, and your brain is fast. It makes connections all the time. So that's one. And then you start, your parents or your caregivers, the person who's taking care of you, wants to get you to learn how to eat. And they are so happy when you are eating everything. Oh, that's so good, a good boy, a good girl, and it's a playful thing because they want to get you to eat. And open your mouth, here comes the airplane, and da-da-da. And it becomes that thing about food and nurturing. And then there's parties, and then you go to the parties. What's the most exciting part of the party? The piñata, and the cake, or candies. We didn't have piñatas in Brazil, but other stuff, it's related to food. The most important part of the party was the cake. Oh, here comes the cake. So, your brain learned that food is connected to happiness, is connected to celebration, is connected to a lot of things. And then you grow up and this becomes part of it. And then you watch TV and all the big things it's related to eating, and it's all the mouth gratification thing, right? And it was cigarettes for years, and it's drinking, or it's food. So your brain learned that. So now that you get anxious or whatever feeling you have and you want to eat, your brain tells yourself, well, go there and get something to eat. And usually you would like something fatty or salty or sugary. Especially the sugary things. For me, interesting was not the sugary that was most important, but as human beings, and especially as children, our palates are very sensitive to sweets, because it's like when I apologize for people who don't believe in evolution, but as we evolved as human beings, it was a way to keep kids and away from poison plants and poison things. So you were attracted to the sweets, so there's a connection between the brain and sweets and fatty, because the fat, also it's good for your body anyhow. So you are attracted to those things usually, and to those things that reminded you of that time when you were a kid and you had, the food to soothe you and nurture you. So the foods activate a part in your brain that releases endorphins and dopamine and the feel-good hormone like the serotonin. And then you have the food and you go into a high, and then you go into that high, and then you are here, you go into a high, and then you crash. And then when you crash, you want that feeling again. And then, it is a drug response reaction that you have. So now you have to teach your brain something different. You have to teach your brain that the food does not soothe you and the food does not nurture you. You got to find something else, And I don't know if you ever heard about Desensitize therapy. It's like I don't have a phobia, but I feel very uncomfortable with rats. There are people that have really bad phobias and they have panic attacks and stuff like that. So how do you treat this person? You desensitize them with the thing that they fear the most. In my case, I would have to be in a room or somehow have rats crawling around me. I would go into that panic state and nervous, and my sweating, and my heart would race and stuff, and my brain is going to think, oh my God, she's going to die, I'm going to die. I am not dead. What's going on here? And then it gets to a point that there's no way that your brain can stay in that panic mode. You have to come down. And that's the natural order of things. It's the fight and flight response, and it's just the response that we have. So when this happens, you're teaching your brain that, okay, so having this doesn't work. So what's going to happen with the food? Let me tell you, it's hard. It's something hard, and it might not work on the first or the second or the third time, but eventually it works. You get the food that you want, and then you put in front of you, but you can't touch it. You can't smell it. You can't look at it. You can't eat it. And usually you might have that anxiety attack type of thing. And you just have to stay there and let that feeling go up and down and go up and down. So you're going to teach your brain something different. And then the next time that you feel this way, instead of going to food, you go to something else. And then you find something else to soothe you. You can go for a walk, and walk soothes me. Or you can listen to music. You can sing. You can. One good thing is to light up like an incense, and the smell would just kind of trick your brain into thinking, oh, this is good. So every time I'm nervous, I have this sense, this scent, and then it's stuff like that. So we have subconsciously behaved that way. We have learned this from things of our day as we were growing up. And because years ago, the truth is nobody was really caring about health at all. I mean, I came from Brazil, and Rio de Janeiro people are very conscious and very focused on health. But this was like maybe even here, maybe about 2 decades, 3 decades ago. I don't know. So our parents, they didn't know what to do, you know. So it's like you have to find a way to find health on your life. And what I can see sometimes is that you guys are trying to change a situation by doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And it's hard. It's like, you know, I've heard somebody telling me, like, I hit a brick wall and I can't pass by it. But you're trying to get to a brick wall, pushing it and trying to get to the other side. You're not going to do it. You have to go around. You have to look around and find a different approach and see. And usually when you have something too close like this, you can't see well, can you? You can't see well. So you have to stand back and look around so you have a better view of things. Because if you have something right close to your face, you can't think straight. So, guys, it's 11 minutes and 5, and I know my camera, it's not going to upload this video if I stand too long. So think of that when you are giving the food to yourself because you're sabotaging, not because you hate yourself. It's because you love yourself, and what you want is to calm you down, and you know that the food is going to calm you down. So just teach yourself that that's not good enough. You want something else, okay? Guys, I love you. Talk to you later. Bye.